Okay, welcome. Okay, we'll continue with the question that is software easy or hardware easy?
But a lot of people don't know how to answer
So,
the
what were
question.
some internship trainings that you undertook uh, throughout your BTech journey, and did they actually help you in securing this current job that you're working on, and also during your placement?
I am Chaitanya. Uh, First of all, thanks for accepting our request.
It's
Okay,
fine.
continue the song.
Um, uh, Hi, Anna. I am Nithin Sanjith, pre-final year student, and again, thank you for accepting our request and taking part in this podcast. Uh, so, first, we'll start with the session of podcast, and now, could you please introduce yourself?
I am Jagannathan. So I finished my ECE from Sakura University last year. So now I'm currently working in ecom system for the past 1 year as a hardware design engineer.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, Anna, first we'll start with your overall engineering journey for the 4 years in Shastra University. Could you please elaborate on that?
So
How
like
was your
what
life?
is the angle? In
Like
what ways
Okay,
angle
do
in
you
the
need it?
sense,
angle as in,
like what you focused in first year and second year and third year and fourth year. Uh, like to get into that hardware
Okay. Hmm.
job.
Okay. So based on what I've done in my 4 years, I did not land the job. So
okay,
what I did in college is entirely different from what I'm doing at work. So this is true for a lot of people. Okay, wow. So in the first year it was COVID time. So we came in only for the exam part, and then we wrote the exam, and the classes were online. The
Okay.
second year also, third semester it was online, and then we actually came to college only in the fourth semester. Once fourth semester started, I was able to identify certain labs which suited my interest. So to be very specific, I started working with Dr. John Bosco Balaguru at that point of time in my fourth semester itself because I joined his class in the third semester. I really liked how he taught. Okay. So what he does research on his lab, I did not have any exposure on that. And even at later point of time, the things which I learned in the lab were not directly useful for my job. What I learned was completely different. It was helpful, but not for the job. Okay, it was only academic curiosity based of thing. Okay, wow. Then after some time, fourth semester and fifth semester, I continued working with him. And in the sixth semester, we have this mini project. So during that time, me and one of my friend Shri Hari, we joined James Sir's lab. So he was working with James Sir before itself. Then we started. I started my exploration into antenna domain. Okay, previously I was working in material science engineering. Okay, so
Okay.
now what I'm doing is hardware design. So none of these three, nothing is related. Okay, wow. So before joining ecom systems, I have never designed any hardware. I've never worked with any hardware. Okay, wow. So that is something which I want everyone to understand that I did not get this job because of something that I did in college. Okay. So now after completing the RF part, okay, I joined. There is one other thing which I did in my sixth semester. It is research credits. Okay, so a few people will get this opportunity to take up one extra paper, research paper in their sixth semester, and then waive off one paper in their seventh semester. So that extra credit I took and I joined with Rajesh sir. Okay, and we did optical character recognition. Okay, wow. And I published a paper on that. It is based off DL, okay, deep learning. Again, something which does not take me to my current work environment. Okay, wow, this doesn't translate again. Okay, so during my college, what I want to tell is I've been very explorative. Okay, I have
Okay.
worked with multiple different people, multiple different domains, not like very specific. So that was my 4-year journey.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
yeah. That
these the
carry on.
these does not. You're saying that these are not playing any roles in getting the jobs like that. You're saying.
No. So there is a difference. I am not using these things in my job.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all of this helped
Okay.
I
me
understand.
during my interview process, but it did not answer the questions which they asked me. Okay, when they check my
Okay.
resume and then ask me questions from my resume, that is when these things help. So when my boss who took my
Okay.
interview saw a variety of different things in my resume, he was interested.
Okay.
So there is no way that one person can do different things unrelated. So that was the
Yeah, yeah.
different thing.
Anna, but that sounded really like a holistic approach, na. Working on
Okay.
various
You're very
domains.
explore
Yeah, and
exploratory.
like a perfect student in college, very explorative, and that was clearly visible in your LinkedIn page also, na. Okay, so we'll jump on to some more technical questions. People usually undertake internships, mainly after four semesters or so, and some people even take it during their second year, the starting of the second year. So, what were some internship trainings that you undertook uh, throughout your BTech journey, and did they actually help you in securing this current job that you're working on, and also during your placement?
So I have never done any internships as such. Okay. So there is one implant training which I did. Okay. I did that implant training because one of my friends actually asked me, give me company for this. I'm going for 1 week. Will you also come with me? I said, okay, I'll come. And then we went for implant training. Okay.
Okay.
So there are some things which I did learn from the implant training during the implant training, but they were not useful for my placement or academically in the college. They were useful once I graduated out of college. There are certain things which I did not, I ignored in college when I was studying. Okay, something like control systems. Okay, I ignored control systems completely. Okay, I just wanted to pass that paper. But later, control systems is what I use every day. Okay, for hardware engineering, it takes up a significant part of our work. Okay. So during the implant training I did an implant training in BEL, okay, Bharat Electronics. Okay. There they were actually talking about control systems a lot. But at that point of time in my second year, I did not understand control systems. So I was just nodding and moving away. But later, now in hindsight, I think that I should have paid more attention to control systems and my internship and this implant training. But as such, other than this, I did not do any internship, and I don't think internships in your second year or your third year will be helpful for your placements, because most of the internships that people are actually joining are paid internships. So you are paying thousands of rupees to someone to let them hire you, which is not how it works. For a few people, it will be very helpful if you have the right connections in the right companies. So your parents or your friend's friend, they know someone in some company and they are going to give you 1 or 2 months intern. That is fine. But I don't think paying someone to get an internship that's not a good idea. And sometimes it is helpful, especially in cases where, say, for example, I know a lot of friends who do internships in other universities. So I like most commonly like IIT Madras or NIT Trichy. So the way that it helped them is now they know a bunch of professors who need master students. So once they complete their BTech, now they can just write GATE or JAM, and then they can just apply for that particular position. Maybe there are a few professors who are willing to take non-GATE aspirants as well, like for research assistant based research type roles. So in that case, those type of internships are extremely useful. But other than that, internships are not very good.
Okay.
Okay.
Chaitanya, would you like to ask something?
Like in second year, we are not able to think much about these technical skills. Then how you approach it to know about them?
So the thing is, in second year, like even for your entire university duration, your goal should not be to specialize in any one particular skill because you are just doing your bachelor's. Okay, if the university program actually wanted you to specialize now, it will give you a bunch of electives, and you can choose like one single track. But that only happens once because you are getting only one track, and there are a lot of other things which you are in a way forced to learn. So if you are an ECE, if since I studied ECE, so now I have to learn digital electronics, analog electronics, control systems, communication, and everything. I may not use or need communication for myself, but the syllabus actually forces me to learn communication systems. The reason why I'm telling this is there is no need to specialize in any one particular technical skill. It is more about learning everything as a whole.
Like we are having now real estate part in our university. It means it's having device physics in fourth sem and IC fabrication in fifth sem. Like that, it is having. And not only the real estate tracks, our university having some other tracks also, like RM track, like that. We are having to go on the track. I mean, if we complete that track, can we get placed in those domain industries?
Okay, so there are a few things which I want to tell you now. Okay, wow. First thing is getting a track doesn't mean anything because you'll get a track in your fourth semester. Fifth semester, your internet will be slow. Someone else will come and take that course from you. Okay, wow. That has happened to so many people. That has happened. That keeps happening
Exactly.
because internet is slow. Okay, wow. You don't get the room which you like. You will not get the course which you like if you are slow. Okay, so as is, the track does not mean anything from your standpoint. Second thing is you are asking this question as if all of these subjects are exclusive. No one is actually stopping you from doing device physics and RF in your free time. But now, will these things be actually useful? Okay, so this is something which I want to tell you. One particular incident happened when I was in RF lab. There was this one junior who came and she said, I want to take this particular elective. The professor asked why. So
Okay.
I was expecting something like I'm interested in this or something like some any reason. Professor is good, class is good, class is chill. I'll get yes grade or whatever.
Okay.
She told if I study this, I'll get into Qualcomm,
Oh,
which is simply not true. Okay, just because you study a course does not guarantee your entry anywhere. It was more of these companies want these skills. We are giving in this track, so take this track.
yeah.
But I'm
Okay.
not
Thanks.
saying that this is useless. But
Uh,
studying this is not like a guaranteed way to just get the job. You have to do a lot of other preparation work.
Okay, okay. Anna, uh, I'd like to ask you about this semester abroad program that you undertook in Tokyo City University, and also the project intern in that Guangzhou Institute of Science and Technology. What was your experience in that place?
So I went to Tokyo City University as an exchange student from the based on the Sakura exchange program. So they selected nine of us, and then we were sent to Japan for this program. So basically, what they did is at that point of time they chose three different schools. So SEEE we went, and then the Computer Science Engineering SOC they went, and then finally the SEBT. Okay, so these three schools they chose, and then they took three people from each of these, And then they asked us, what are you interested in? And then they took a list and they mapped us to one professor. Okay. So once this is done, we just went there and we were involved in sort of the research work of the professor, like everyday research work. When I went to Japan, what happened was no one actually came and introduced all of the equipments to me. So we had one task which we complete, which we took the whole duration for that. Okay, 3 to 4 days. We finished the task. So by the end, we were familiar with all of the equipments. So as such, there was no separate learning for this equipment, that equipment. Okay, so we had one task. So at that point of time, I was for the Sakura Exchange program. I was assigned to Professor Momozawa. Okay, so she was doing her research work in materials. So I went for material science engineering. So I was assigned to one Honaka Morishita. She's now Dr. Honaka Morishita. Okay, so they were actually researching about materials for rockets during their ballistic re-entry. So when the rockets actually come back, what sort of a material should be used to make that rocket so that they can come back safely? Okay, nothing related to ECE. Okay, wow. I just put material science and engineering, and this is what I got. Okay, but this thing taught me a lot of how materials are engineered. Okay, so then after that I came back and then I applied to Guangzhou Institute of Science and Technology. So during to apply to Guangzhou Institute of Science and Technology, Dr. John Bosco Valaguru was very helpful. So he was the one who coordinated this whole SAP for me. So he actually contacted one of his colleagues, and then we like friend of a friend, and then they went and they connected me with Professor Myung Han Yoon. Okay, so I was working with him in when I was in Korea. So there we were doing something electronics related, bioelectronic engineering. So we were designing something called organic electrochemical transistors in Korea. So that was also fine. So we were learning again, same, we had a task. While completing the task, you will get to learn about all of the equipments in the due course of time. So that was how it was.
Yeah, indeed. John Bosco sir has been a mentor for many of us over here, and so I also saw that in your LinkedIn profile, it was mentioned that you love problem solving, and there were many other projects that you were involved that you are maybe I think you are a part of, or you have completed those projects. Any such complex engineering problems that you encountered while working on projects on the listed projects?
No, there was no complicated problems as such.
Okay, okay. So in your projects, there was something mentioned like Maxine based flexible EMI shielding,
Yeah.
uh, and also this wideband antenna for breast cancer detection. So could you just give a small overview on that?
But one of my seniors actually started off that project, and Maxine was just in a way after he used, there were some materials left over, so we wanted to use it. So I took the opportunity to use it. In the process, learn how everything works. So
Okay.
I did not bring up the whole new idea of Maxine for EMI shielding. It was there in our university before itself. Okay. So the next thing is again antenna. I didn't bring up the whole antenna. So me and my teammate Srihari, so we did it together, and then later one other teammate joined us, Chris. So she helped with the final test results, which actually helped us get published.
Okay, okay.
That got published as a paper later. Okay, so again, this was not my idea. So we just did something and then we searched. There was nothing out of the ordinary in any of the projects. It was very simple, straightforward projects.
So
Any
let me
difficulties
tell.
you faced during this research work.
So as such, there were no difficulties in with the research process. However, when you are going to take research work in your sixth semester already you have got a lot of coursework. So adding in one extra paper in your sixth semester might not be for everyone. But my only hope for doing that is because I can free up one course in my seventh semester. And because of which I will be able to prepare for my placements better and crack placements. So that was the whole strategy. Okay. And my intention was not to skip one paper in the seventh semester. So even though I waived off a paper, I still went and sat in the class. Just chumma, I just sat in class,
Okay,
just
okay.
listen. Okay. So the whole, because I got placed like very early in the seventh semester itself. Okay. So the main thing is if you get placed soon, you will have a lot of free time to do a lot of chill activities in campus. Okay.
Ah,
Without having the tension. Okay. So if that means you have to take up one extra coursework and struggle a little bit in your sixth semester, your seventh semester will be very chill.
may I know that when you got placed?
No, seventh semester.
Anna, in sixth semester, what was your mini project based on?
My mini project was the antenna for breast cancer.
Okay, okay. So, did it actually help you in standing out of the crowd during the placement process?
No. See, the thing is, nothing actually helps you to stand out of the crowd in placement. Because the first thing which you have to do is to clear a written exam. Clearing the written exam will make you stand out more than what project you have done. Like objectively speaking, if you are going to have one awesome project in your resume, but if you don't clear your written exam, no one will actually sit and read your resume. You will not give the opportunity to the interviewer to sit and read your resume. So it is more important to clear the written exam so that the interviewer will actually get to see your resume, get to see that there is someone called Nithin. Okay. And only then the projects which you do actually matter.
Okay. As for a pre-final year or a current pre-final year or a final year student, what do you think are some technical and soft skills that that student must possess, maybe to be industry ready?
To be industry ready. Okay. So now it depends on which industry you're talking about. Okay. So someone who's aiming for hardware, it is entirely different than someone who's satisfied with some BPO work. Okay. Wow. So the industry ready doesn't mean anything as such. Different industries will require different things. The difference between your software and hardware in general is that the things that you will be asked, you will be expected in your software things, those are some things which you will not learn during your coursework. If you are in ECE, it is highly unlikely that you learn all of this. Okay. So you may learn DSA as an elective, but you will not learn to solve Tower of Hanoi. Okay. That doesn't happen. Tower of Hanoi is one DSA based problem. Okay. Something like that. You will not learn specific use cases. But someone in CSE or IT, they do this for their entire 4 years. Okay. So now you have to put in an extraordinary amount of effort to be industry ready because you are in ECE and someone else is in CSE or IT. Okay. So becoming industry ready that way is much more difficult. If you really think about it, it is very difficult. The alternate is hardware. Okay. Industry ready for hardware means knowing your third semester and fourth semester subjects. Okay. And you will not believe when I tell you that if we ask 10 questions in during the interview or the written exam, okay, all of these 10 questions will be based on KVL, KCL, Ohm's law, voltage divider, something. Okay, voltage divider is just basically you doing KVL, KCL. Okay, so basically most of these you will be able to solve with KVL, KCL. Out of 10 questions, on average, a person will get 2 or 3 correct. Okay. So people don't know KVL, KCL when they are in their 4th years. Okay. Or 3rd year. Okay. Surprisingly, a lot of us forget KVL, KCL. It is like very big. Okay. If someone does not know what is KVL, KCL, KVL is Kirchhoff voltage law, KCL is Kirchhoff current law. Okay. So see, I am forced to say this because there might be someone listening who does not know what is KVL, KCL, although they have been studying electronics or whatever. Okay. Wow. So hardware in that sense is very easy. Okay. So to be industry ready for hardware is just you knowing 3rd and 4th semester to the point where you can answer any question comfortably. Okay. At most in the interview for hardware related jobs, you'll be asked what is resistor, capacitor, inductor, transistor, FET. If you go to LC, RC circuits, voltage dividers, bridge rectifier and all, it is like very advanced topics for hardware. Okay. By hardware standards, that is like way far away. Most people don't even pass capacitor, inductor, resistor, to be honest.
But there is a view of that software is easy than hardware like that. What can you say about that?
Hardware is actually very easy. But the thing is, only a very few people get placed in hardware. The juniors do not have enough number of seniors to actually contact to get to know how to join a hardware job, how to get a hardware job. Okay, so since a lot of seniors are in software, so the general advice that a junior gets will take him towards a software job.
Software, yeah.
Okay, so this might be like very simple things. Even like if you take Java or Python, you'll get S. It will be very useful when you are going to go for placement because you'll have a higher CGPA. Okay, because that senior did that thing, he or she wants you to do that thing. Since he landed a software job, obviously, most likely you'll also get a software job. You will not get into hardware this way. Okay. So now you do not have guidance. So the companies don't know you exist. So now at this point of time, there is no incentive for you to prepare for hardware because the off-campus interview, the off-campus market is extremely competitive. Okay. So when someone asks me if I should apply for off-campus or on-campus, okay. So this is something which the placement staff also told me. Okay. So what they have told is on campus it is actually much easier to get a job on campus. Okay. So off campus job market for a fresher is extremely competitive. Oh, if you like challenge, you can go. But I do not recommend that as the starting point. Because once you sit for a lot of on campus interviews, attend a lot of placements, you will know that these are the questions which are going to be asked.
Yeah.
Simply, if you are going to go to an interview, okay. So even now, you know that the moment you get into an interview, the interviewer is going to ask you, tell me about yourself. That is going to be more or less your first question.
A common question.
Okay. But a lot of people don't know how to answer the question because they have not answered it enough number of times. If you are going to answer that question 4-5 times in real interview setting, 6th time it will be very easy. You have already done it like 5 times. Okay, so your on-campus placement will actually help you land a job in off-campus. But if you are going to go to off-campus interviews directly, no experience, you will have a very hard time with off-campus.
Yeah. Okay, you were saying that try to get the
Yes.
job in the on campus only.
Preferably, yes.
Yeah, okay. Everybody joining in our university wants to get placed in a good company, and especially ECE students, they don't have much knowledge about in what way they have to go, like hardware or software. From first years, I have been asked like Anna, why in what way we have to go? Like software is easy, and so many companies are coming for software. The hardware is and I have seen that hardware is hard. Only a few companies are recruiting the hardware engineers. So, uh, is it better to go to software like that? I have been asked by my juniors, and I don't have any knowledge about that. In what way you have to go? And I decided to go to hardware. Brother also guided me to get into hardware only, because so much investments are being putting in India. Uh, like 4 to 5 investments are getting into India. You might have heard about that semiconductor industries. Yeah, we all, I think not only
Silicon
me,
Foundry.
yeah, like that. Not only me, but so many of our uh, easy friends, they want to go get into semiconductor industry. Especially, I am mentioning this semiconductor industry, but we don't have much skills about that, and we don't have much knowledge about that semiconductor industry. As we have that device physics and IC fabrication, like this subjects we have, but we don't have much knowledge about that to get into that. Um, is there any separate skills you have to learn to get into that industry or jobs?
So,
Like simply making ourselves industry ready, Anna.
again,
In
see,
and
the
semiconductor
thing
domain.
is, okay, you just have to crack gate, go join some IIT or NIT, and from the IIT you can just go. You will get a lot of depending on the IIT. There's the IIT and tag itself, so you can just apply for off campus, and the IIT and tag will do a lot of help. Okay, and you will have a lot of seniors working there. Risk and go off campus, or do score very good marks in your gate, and then go to some other university which will give you. Also, the other advantage is that you can do MTech in this IC fabrication or microelectronics or whatever.
In
Okay.
IITs.
So the coursework which you will get in your masters will be so much more greater than what you're going to get in your BTech.
Anna, so for people in the fifth semester right now, any specific tips to start the placement preparation right away?
If it is going to be hardware, okay, hopefully that is what you are asking. Okay,
Yeah,
for
we all
hardware,
want to get into
if you
hardware
are
only.
going
So
to, yes, so your entire goal of your third year is to not forget your second year.
yeah,
Okay, wow. At
Okay.
the end of third year, you should still know, understand, you should be able to solve all digital electronics, analog electronic based problems. But what happens is most people they'll end up taking microcontrollers, they'll do some project, but they do not know the basic digital logics which are working in the microcontroller. So they will be able to use the microcontroller without actually understanding what the controller is capable of. Okay, wow. So they don't understand what is a JK flip flop, what will happen if you give 1 1 to JK flip flop. Okay, so the 1 1 to JK flip flop is one very simple example. Okay, but they
yeah.
will be able to code in microcontroller, they'll be able to do a lot of different projects, fancy stuff. Okay, but they don't understand sequential circuits. So that
Okay.
should not be the case.
Okay. Um, any other question you want to ask?
So is it enough to gain a knowledge a little bit in all domains, rather than specifically getting more knowledge in a specific domain?
See, if you are going to, if you know that this is what you are going to do for the rest of your life, then go ahead and choose the domain, narrow, single, and do extensive work in that domain. In my 4 year time, I was not able to know this. Okay, I found out at during only in my 4th year that hardware engine. I did not even want to do hardware engineering, even in my 4th year. Okay, the company when I heard about the company which I'm working for, Econ Systems, okay, when they gave the pre-placement talk, that was very interesting. So I did not care if I was a hardware engineer. Okay. What I wanted to do is join this company because the company's ideology is very good. I was inspired by the way they were talking in pre-placement talk. Once that was over, then I came back and then I actually thought, okay, I will prepare for the written exam, and then I prepared for the written exam. I wrote the written exam and then I went for the interview. I did not want the job. Okay. But once my interview started, the interviewer, who's my current boss, okay, the way he interviewed, the intensity of the interview actually made me want to work for him. Okay, wow. So at no point of time I was focusing on hardware engineering. So my goal was to learn everything as much as possible. Because I did not know hardware engineering was even a thing. I did not know that there is one company called Econ Systems in my third year. I only knew it like when they released that you'll get that one Google Forms which you have to fill. Okay, before that I did not know that that company exists.
Okay, Anas. So we'll ask the last few questions for you. So your thoughts on GATE exam and also CGPA for a person at the end of sixth sem or something else?
Okay. So first
Thoughts on
thing
GATE
for
and
GATE,
okay.
okay. So if we start off with GATE, so I think everyone should give GATE exam in their third year, at least once. Okay. So you'll be able to give GATE like third year and fourth year. Okay. So in third year you can give GATE. So I have given GATE once. It was in my third year. Okay. Wow. I scored like 44 or 45 something. Okay. So everyone should give GATE. The reason why you should give GATE in your third year is if things don't go well for you with the placement. So seventh semester, by the end of seventh semester, you will know if you will not be able to make it. Now, at the end of seventh semester, you already have a GATE score which you have scored previously, which will be your target to beat. Okay, so you'll have some sort of motivation by the end of your seventh semester. Giving GATE in your third year is actually more easier than giving GATE in your fourth year, because the syllabus for GATE will closely match up to your third year syllabus compared to your fourth year syllabus. So fourth year, if you are going to give GATE, you'll be learning a lot of different things. You'll be doing project. It will actually make you forget a lot of things which you have learned previously. Okay, wow. Same thing, like you will know how to do a microcontroller, but you'll not know how digital circuits work. Okay, but GATE, they'll ask digital circuits. They will not ask how do you solve this, how do you convert hexa to binary in this microprocessor. That will not be a GATE question. Okay, wow. So, but something compared to like find the propagation delay of this, it will be a GATE question. Okay, so giving GATE in your third year is extremely easy. Okay, so that is something which I recommend. Okay, later after, if you are not interested in the placement, you want to do higher studies, then you can prepare for GATE separately. Okay, how you prepare for GATE is entirely up to the individual's choice. Okay, some people will have a lot of money to apply for different coachings. Okay, so they can do. Some people will have the flexibility to actually take a drop year and study for GATE. Okay, not everyone is like that. Okay, some people will have education loan which they have to fulfill. Okay, so they have to repay the loan. So they, at that point of time, they'll not be able to drop off and pay the education loan. Okay, wow. So it depends on the person. So if you have a lot of money, you can take coaching. I did not take any coaching. I know a lot of people who did not take any coaching who scored very good rank enough to get them into top IITs. Okay, wow. I know people who are in IIT Madras who did not take coaching and cracked the GATE.
Okay, for
Okay,
that we have
so
to
that
do
is also
hard
possible.
work.
Yes, hard work is required regardless of what path you are going to choose. It is just different path will have different things of hard work. What you call hard work for hardware will be different from what you call hard work for software.
Anna, what is the CGPA that students should from ECE should have according to you at the end of sixth semester for a decent, I mean, for a good placement experience?
So the previous batch, okay, like my immediate next batch for me, they asked this same question. Okay, wow. Then the batch after that, who is now currently in their final year, they have asked the question. This exact question to me. Okay, wow. So the thing is, my CGPA was 9. Okay. So when I say my CGPA was 9, by the current fourth year standards, 9 CGPA is very less. It is very common. A lot of people have 9 CGPA. But in my class, only two of us had 9. Up until last semester, only I had 9 CGPA. Last semester, when we finished off, two people had 9 CGPA. Like during the placement season, only I had 9 CGPA. There was no one else who had 9. Everyone was like 8.9 something. Okay. So that was extremely, so when someone is going to check the resumes, they see 8, 8, 8, 8, they see 9 ones, even if it is 9.01 and the next person is 8.99, the difference is 0.02 only. But the first digit actually changes. So they are not going to see there's 0.2. No, they'll see, oh, 8, oh, 9. That is what they'll see. Okay. So scoring 9 is like the best thing you can do. After 9, once you score 9 points, there is no need to aim for more.
So
And the
this
final
meeting,
thing I want to ask you is for first year and second year, third year, and fourth year, separate suggestion for each of these students.
All of these years, you have to just study. That is like the only common suggestion. You have to study, you have to try to explore and have fun, but not at the expense of your academic career. Okay. So when so one of my professors, okay, he told this thing. Okay, so what will you do if you are bored? If you are sitting in your room, so what will you do? So you'll be like, okay, let me go watch a movie. Okay, but then what does a person who is like interested in studying? Okay, what he does is he thinks he has to go. He wants to go to a movie, but then he says, no, I'll not go to a movie. I want to study because I want to score. I want to do this, do that, crack this interview or whatever. Then he studies. Okay, but his friends go watch movie. They come back and then they talk about the movie. Now he is very unhappy. You have to go watch the movie. Okay, then go watch every single movie that you ever want to watch. Then at one point of time, you will be bored of watching movies. Okay, so if you are going to tick off everything in that list, at the end of the day, what you'll be left with? Studying. So everything else you have done. Now you'll be bored of everything else. So only thing left is to study. Then you'll now sit and study. Okay.
so okay, one last question that I have is, Anna, if you have a time travel mission and you could go back in time, what is the one thing that you would change in the entire BTech uh, journey in yours?
So this is something which I want to be different, but this is something which I cannot change. Okay. I wish that we had like the first year itself without the lockdown. Okay. So
Okay.
I actually wanted to have the first year, second year, like the entire 4 years of university experience. But then I only got from the second year. Okay. But I'm not sure if I will be able to change it. Okay. But that is something which
Yeah.
I would have.
Okay. Finally, Anna, this is not a part of the video. I hope your professional life is going good.
Oh, it is very nice. It is actually
Anna,
extremely good. See,
okay.
you can actually add this to the video if you want to. Okay. This is one of the beauties of getting into a job which you like. Okay. Because now every time I have Saturday or Sunday, I feel why is it Saturday or Sunday? Because I can't I usually we can't go to office on Saturday or Sunday. Okay. People actually when usually others if it's Monday, they'll think, oh, when will Saturday come? When will Saturday come? Okay. But
Wait
for
for
me, it's
Sunday.
like once Saturday comes, when will Monday come? Okay, because I have a lot of things at my work which require solving. Okay, I actually want to go solve all of these problems, but Saturday is stopping me. Okay, But of course, I can go and work on Saturday. That is different. So I do unrelated stuff on Saturdays. Okay, which is related to work. Okay, but this is something if you actually get into the right job, something which you like. Okay, so usually, so uh, we are expected to work for 9 hours. Okay, wow. 8 hours plus 1 hour break. So you'll have to spend around 9 hours in office. That is what is expected. Okay. Usually, most days I'll spend 11 hours, 12 hours in office. Okay. Now imagine I have to commute for half an hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour, one way and the other way. Okay. And 12 hours in the office. Okay. And I have other things also going on. Okay. So I go to gym and everything. Okay. So I have to allocate time for that as well. Okay. But if it's the evening, everyone is leaving, and there is something which there is a problem which I know I can solve in the next 1 or 2 hours, I will not keep it for next day's morning. Okay, wow. Because I'm actually interested. Because what I'm doing, I feel what I'm doing. I really like what I'm doing. Okay. So the extra 1 or 2 hours, I'm willing to stay. Like no one asks me to stay. Okay. Usually they say actually go and come back tomorrow and then do it. Okay, but I don't want to actually do this because tomorrow morning, like if I come home without actually finishing it off, I cannot stop thinking of that thing. Okay, I'll be thinking of I could have done this, I could have done this. Okay, so and also like when it comes to my seniors, my boss, lead, okay, they also have this same attitude. Okay, they have went to extreme lengths. Okay, stayed overtime, stayed throughout night. Okay, just to make sure that everything is running properly. Example, if they say there are 10 people we would like to hire. Okay, so now I'm not talking about companies which take intern and then convert some of them to FTE. Okay, well, I'm not talking about these companies. I'm talking about companies who give directly full time. Okay. So when they say they need 10 people, okay, they actually want much more than 10 people. They want 15 or 20. Okay. How do I know this? Is because these people are going to go to some other college and take more people. They will be more than happy if they are able to get 20 from the same college. It just reduces their job. Okay. So if you actually had a talent, they will be more than happy to hire you itself because they don't want to actually go to another college and do the whole interview process again. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is easier for them also. It is easier for you also.
Yeah. Give once again for your
So,
valuable time for spending this.
thank you so much, Na, for your time. So now we'll end this.